So now with this breath awareness, if you don't mind, I'd like to lead you through a little guided awareness and see if we can locate some grief inside of our body. So before we begin breathing at all or doing anything, I just want to invite you to this moment of awareness. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes if that feels safe. You can just listen to the sound of my voice. And if not, you can simply just soften your gaze. And I invite you to let your shoulders drop, relax away from the ears. Sometimes our shoulders are up really high and tight, and we don't notice that we're sitting really tense. So I invite you to just loosen up the shoulders and drop those down away from the ears. I invite you to unclench the jaw. Notice if you're squeezing or if you're clenching anywhere in the jaw. And I invite you to just allow your body to settle. And when you're ready, just take a slow, natural breath in and out. And as you breathe, I want you to begin to notice and ask yourself, where does the grief live in my body right now? Maybe it's a heaviness in your chest. Maybe it feels like a lump in your throat. Maybe today it's just a little bit more mental. Maybe it's what you've been thinking. Maybe it feels like a heavy weight on your shoulders. Maybe it feels like stress. Maybe it feels like a headache. And so just know that there's no right or wrong answer here with any of these. This is simply just an observation of what is going on in your own physical body. And so we'll just take a minute to simply observe. Observe your breathing patterns. How are you breathing? Are you breathing into the chest? Are your breaths shallow? Are they slow and deep? Are you breathing from your nose or are you breathing out of your mouth? And we're not trying to fix anything. We don't need to change anything right now. This is simply just an observation. When you've located a space where you feel that the grief is existing, maybe you place your hand on that area very gently if that feels comfortable. And we'll just send some breath into that space. So hand to the location of your grief, and maybe we'll just breathe into it. And maybe you imagine that, like, as you inhale, you're breathing light or breathing openness or space into the area. And as you exhale, you're releasing tension, releasing strain, releasing worry. And maybe you might want to sit in this for just a moment. Maybe you might think of some ways that you can initiate care to the area that you're feeling this grief in the physical body. And that's really all. That's literally body awareness. And this is one of the first and really important steps in tending to your grief is accessing it, locating it, naming it, calling it out. This is how we begin to tend to the grief, by listening to where we feel it in the body, listening to what the body has to say, to the language that the body speaks about the grief, whether it's an ache, right? A pain, a tension, a thought. So we find, we listen, and then we meet it with the breath. So I thank you for allowing me to hold that space for you. And I hope that that is a useful tool that you can take with you as you are moving through your grieving journeys. And you can do this at any time, just stopping to pull yourself into a moment of presence and seeing where you feel the grief in your body.